My first question is...
Oh, well, we've used all your time.
I'll make it fast. I've managed to line up 2 amazing job opportunities that are coming up. The interviews are coming up this week, and I've been waiting for it for a long time. My problem is not a problem.
All right. It's all right. It's all right.
With making choices in general, but also specifically as to this particular choice. I try to align with both, and I'm trying to be in the high-flying disc and asking myself what I want, and I'm still... I don't want to be offering different vibrations.
Well, we have some questions for you. Is it important now in this situation, or ever, that you figure out what you want forevermore right now? Is it even possible? So, can you leave yourself open for evolution and expansion and new decisions?
Yes.
And doesn't that sort of take the intensity off of, I have these opportunities and I don't want to make a mistake, feel how that feels, or I have these opportunities and I can't go wrong no matter what I choose. That feels a lot better, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I have a vibrational countenance that is established. Now, you're going to feel the similarity between our answering this part of your question and the way we started here together just now. Because you inferred, we talked you out of it, because we knew better, and eventually you did too. You began by speaking words that didn't apply to the current situation. And so the same thing could happen in this looking for employment. You could be proceeding with a flawed premise. That flawed premise could be, I got to get this right. A lot's at stake here. I don't want to make a mistake. I have to evaluate all of the facts and lay them out all on the table and evaluate carefully so that I make the right decision. All of that is flawed premise. The premise that we would be proceeding from is, I have for a long time been putting things in my vortex, and the source within me knows exactly who I am and what steps are most beneficial for me right now. And in an attitude of ease and trust and ease and ease, in an attitude of ease and ease, in an attitude of ease, I'll be inspired. I'll be able to feel. And if I can't feel a strong distinction, then there isn't one, and it's all good. It's like you're at a buffet and you say, do you want to eat that or that or that or that? And you look at it and you just don't know, because it's all equally delicious. So what difference does it make what you fill up on? You see what we're getting at?
Yeah. A short question about that is, one of these jobs is working as a prosecutor. I'm a lawyer. I'm a new lawyer. When I think about law, which is human law, it's not any other universal law.
Well, the universal law applies to everything, however.
Okay. And using the human law in order to put people in jail, or even though I'm defending the state, does that put me in a negative place if I cause negativity, or if I'm around that?
Well, what's your intention in playing in that game? What's the general overall intention?
The intention is representing the country and doing good for the rest of the population.
And as a prosecutor, who are you uplifting?
Probably the people of the state, even though they might not be aware of it.
So are you saying that even though you are pushing against something, you're actually pushing for something else? Let's rest with that for just a little bit. Because if I'm shouting no at something, aren't I actually saying yes to something else? Maybe you want to use a different word rather than the word prosecutor or pushing against something. Maybe you want to use the word of what you're advocating. So let's use that label for just a moment. What are you an advocate of? Just in general terms, and then even in specific terms with this employment. What are you advocating?
Equalness and
You're advocating good life. You're advocating upliftment. You're advocating... Are you having trouble figuring out how to stay on your high-flying disc while you are focused in this way?
I might be. I could try not to, but definitely I'll think of why I am doing it.
Now, take the conversation that we had earlier about someone who really wants to be on their high-flying disc. And let's say they've managed to get there. They've been alone for a while, and not just all day, but for a while. And so they've been in their own thoughts, and they've managed to figure out how to guide their thinking in a way that predominantly feels good. So they are really in a good place. And because they like this good place so much, because they haven't always been there, in fact, maybe far from there, and now they've found the relief of this alignment. So now, while they have discovered the relief of the alignment, they still are guarded about not being able to maintain it. So this person doesn't go out very much, doesn't interact with people very much, because it feels risky to engage and possibly lose alignment. So this person's world just becomes more and more narrow as it looks riskier and riskier out there, because the alignment has come to be something that is so desired that misalignment is something that they are feeling very guarded about. And so now they have sort of wedged themselves into a very solitary personal confinement because they're afraid to be out in the world. Mm-hmm. So the opposite of that is someone who has found vibrational alignment and understands the leverage of what that means. So they are no longer needing to protect themselves from anything. In fact, they are discovering that they can stand in the midst of everything and still find clarity. Because we promise you, the thing that you are trying to protect yourselves from is the bondage of split energy. And when you have shown yourself, just through practice, that you can maintain your alignment and therefore your clarity, and therefore not have split energy, then you discover that you can stand in any circumstance, in any situation, and there's nothing that is at risk because you're not giving up your clarity or your alignment regardless of the occupation or even the vantage point within the occupation. Does that make sense to you?
Yes.
So what we just said to you is it is absolutely probable that you could be a person who works in the lawyer business where you are advocating for something, and by logic, if you are advocating for this, you are not advocating for that, without putting yourself in a place of sacrificing or jeopardizing your alignment in the process. Of course you can. Most don't, and that's why the law profession is such an uncomfortable world to be in, almost no matter what vantage point you take. But you could certainly be someone who stands out as different from what most are doing. Do you like the idea of being able to be anywhere? In other words, you see, what you're talking about, this is really a step 4 discussion. Because in all other discussions that we have ever had about finding vibration and then that vibration leading to something wanted, most humans have taken that to mean that I really want to feel good, and therefore I really want a wonderful outcome. And I'm willing to pay the price of getting to the wonderful outcome by doing the vibrational work. But it's the wonderful outcome that is what I'm really doing it all for. This is my motive. I'm really wanting that outcome. And what the step 4 understanding is this. I'm not doing anything for the outcome or for the manifestation later or for the evidence later. What I'm doing is for the feeling that I am discovering in the midst of it. And once you cross into that place of understanding, then you really can stand anywhere, contemplating any subject, and you can do it from a place of alignment that is so practiced and therefore so chronic within you that you don't take vibrational dips This speaks to something that we have been attempting to explain to our physical friends for a very long time. And this is the opportunity to say it better than we've ever said it before. It's the subject that we touched on just briefly an hour or so ago, when we said, if you are choosing the alignment first rather than the subject first. So most people are choosing their occupation. So there are people that they would choose dentistry, not necessarily because they're wanting to help people, although maybe because there is monetary reward, maybe. But a lot of people, when they think of a subject like that, they think of long hours, they think of bad backs, they think of physical discomfort. And so it's not usually a subject that everyone, when they think about it, gets on their high-flying disc. But there are dentists who are on their high-flying discs having a glorious experience doing that. There are people on their high-flying discs have a glorious experience in every occupation. It's just that mass consciousness doesn't have the capacity to see it that way. And so we think it's time for someone who's tuned in, tapped in, turned on, to apply themselves from that vibration of alignment to a subject that is, for the most part, not seen as one where they can find alignment. So let us get back to really the heart of this. This is what excites us about this conversation. And it's easy to simply speak. We want you to be able to stand anywhere and feel fabulous. We want you to be able to be in any occupation and feel wonderful. We want you to choose the way you want to feel and then be able to apply it to anything rather than choose the things that you think will make you feel wonderful. Can you feel that distinction? That's the step 4 understanding. And at the very beginning of this gathering, a very wonderful question. Why would we, if we are pure positive energy, why would we even come into a physical body where there is the potential of getting all out of vibrational whack? Why would we introduce ourselves to all of this contrast? And we say, because when you came, you were certain that you could maintain your connection. And you were wanting and willing to embrace life because you were certain that you were able to maintain that connection. It's only after you've lost it that you ask that question. Did that follow? Really good discussion. Did we get there for you?
Yeah.